What's up, everybody? What the heck? I hope everybody's is doing good today. I'm gonna move this, bro. There we go. I hope everybody is doing good today. Where are my notes? Right there. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's been a hot Sunday in Missouri. Oh my gosh. Hello, I look forward to your lives. They keep me going. God bless you. Thank you. God bless you too. Yo, hello. With you, my sister. Yes, can you say hi to me, and do you speak Spanish? I speak Spanish, but not like that. I'm new to your live. I'm from Uvalde, Texas. Greetings and saludos. Thank you so much for the stars. I have the biggest crush on you. Well, that's nice to know. Love watching you. Thank you. I come on here to preach the gospel. I don't really know if you want to say preach the gospel. Just talk about God, my experiences with God. Things like that. You know what I mean? I don't really like calling it Bible study or anything like that, because yeah, you know what I mean. I need some prayer right now. God bless you, Wendy. God bless you. I would love to hear your life story. Preach, sister. You know, do you guys want to hear a little bit about me? I'll tell you guys a little bit about me, and it's going to involve God. So instead of teaching you about discipline and self-control, because that's what I was going to teach about today. Preach for that money? What the heck? I do not preach for money. Alert, alert. Is my monitor lady in here? I wasn't paying attention when I first got on here. Am I Mexican? No, I'm not Mexican. I am Native American and white. Oh my gosh, what's up with the power, dude? I'm trying to see if my monitor lady is in here. I'm waiting to see. She said she would be. A girl after my own heart. What? I'll be your mod. No, it's okay. I already have a mod. She's pretty faithful too. She's always on here when I ask her to be. Maybe she's running late, or maybe she's not gonna make it today. God bless her though. My trailer is in the storage. Someone said, "Are you still training fireman, woman?" Yes. What is a mod? A mod is like a person, a monitor, I think it's short for mod. Is a person that goes on here and like blocks people and like, you know, mutes them if they're saying mean things, or like maybe she'll answer their question that she already knows about me. Like someone said, "Where's your trailer?" You know, maybe the mod lady would answer that for me if I wasn't like paying attention to those questions or something like that. It's just a monitor. It's just a person that's on the live somewhere else on their phone or something, and they're just watching. So yeah, I don't think she's in here yet because she usually responds back pretty quickly. Does your tattoos have a story? Yeah, they do. Thank you so much for the UNC alert. What does that even mean? Tell us about you. Hold on, I'm trying to see if my monitor's in here. Are you going back to your trailer? I do not plan on it. I'm half white and half something. It's a new singing UNC. Singala? I gave you a gift. Thank you, Wendy. Sounds low, your microphone, or is your phone? I think it's because I'm talking low, but I do have a microphone that I can plug in. My monitor lady's not here. God bless her. Okay. Gotta make that corned beef hash more crispy with the pork eggs. It's a UC alert for gifts. Oh, please answer us about Buddy. Every time I come on here, they always ask about Buddy. My cat is with my niece. Someone said, please connect the mic. Let's see. I don't know. Supposedly these mics last for 6 hours, but I don't think so, dude. Let's see, hold on. Hang on. Can you guys hear me? Someone said good evening. Somebody said, where do you live now? I'm not gonna say all that. That's too much information. There's a lot of weirdos. You might not think so, but there really is, bro. Not in details. LOL. Where I live in an apartment. My mom and grandma love your videos a lot. Oh my gosh. Make cookies? I made cookies last night. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself, okay? I'm not going to tell you my whole testimony or anything like that, but I will tell you a little bit of my testimony, okay? You guys ready? You guys ready? Okay, everybody's saying yes. Okay. Okay, you guys. That's backwards. Oh my gosh. Okay. What the heck is wrong with this, bro? No, whatever. Oh, hold on. I think I could do this. Okay. Okay, guys. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. So, well, I was a barber for 10 years. And I cut hair for the San Francisco 49ers, Oakland Raiders, the Seahawks, other different football teams as well. I've traveled on airplanes to go to different facilities to cut NFL football people hair, NFL football players' hair. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I was a barber for almost 10 years. That's why I have a barber thing. I believe that God gifted me with cutting hair, but my calling is to inspire people, motivate people, and share my experience with God. A lot of people get lost in the gifting that God has given them. So God gives you a gifting, and then God gives you a calling. So don't ever get lost in the gifting. When God is calling you to do more, greater, go to it. Okay, a lot of people ask me, why would you stop cutting hair? Like, that seems like a dream come true. Because that was my gifting, it wasn't my calling. I learned my calling in my gifting. Okay, so I started cutting hair when I was just about 18 years old. And how that happened was I have a best friend. His name is Eddie. He's still my best friend till this day. I went to school with him from ninth grade, starting in ninth grade all the way. I still know him till this day. God bless him and his girlfriend or fiance, okay? So in high school, here and there, he would just shave his head bald. And I guess he got tired of doing that. And he said, Angel, can you just shave my head? So all right, I'll do that. So I started just shaving his head bald, okay? And this is when I was around like 17 years old. Never thought anything about it, okay? Never in my life. I wasn't thinking about cutting hair, nothing. My friend literally was like, hey, and he's kind of chubby, right? Kind of fat, honestly, okay? So it was kind of hard for him to like get, his hair, I would assume, I don't know, right? He had a small bathroom. So I'd be like, all right, bro, I'll do it, whatever. So shaving bald, whatever, didn't matter. So I did that a few times, right? And I was like, let me try and give him an actual haircut. If I mess up, he's just going to shave it bald anyways. So I try to give him a haircut, whatever, shaved him bald, right? Now I'm about like 18 years old at this time, okay? At this time in my life, I was 18 years old and I was stealing diapers, baby wipes, and I was selling them. So, for instance, my friends had kids and they're like, I need diapers. So, I needed money. So, I'd be like, you need diapers? Yeah. I said, if I go steal some diapers, would you buy them from me? They're like, yeah. So, I was like, what size diapers? So, this became a hustle of mine, okay? So I started stealing diapers and selling diapers to my friends and a lot of my friends that were single dads. They didn't really have much money, but I was just slinging diapers, dude. I mean, I was selling big packs of diapers for like $10. Like I was just slanging diapers. Okay, I would walk into the stores. I knew what sizes of diapers I needed and I would steal them and then I would go sell them. Okay. So one day I went inside, I don't know, Albertsons or something, and I'm gonna go in there to steal diapers. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and I thought I'm gonna steal her a straightener because I'm gonna go in there and steal diapers anyways, right? So I get the diapers, I go in there, and I go to find the straighteners. I see the straighteners, and I see barber clippers. Okay. So then I'm like, oh, let me get some barber clippers to try and cut Eddie's hair, because Eddie had like some messed up. They didn't even have no guards. They were rusty. They were bad, and they kept yanking his hair, right? So I thought, oh, let me steal some barber clippers too, right? Some Conair, right? They were probably like $20 or something. I don't know. So, anyways, I steal that stuff. The next day I go to Eddie's house and I'm like, Eddie, let me cut your hair, man. Look, I got these barber clippers. And at that time, I didn't see Eddie for like 2 months because I was just like still in diapers. Uh, this time was not, my mom had no money. My mom's on drugs. Like, we're living together. Me and my mom are living together, but my mom's smoking crystal meth, like cussing at me, saying these things, like, all this crap that people will say when they're on drugs and they're mad because they don't have drug money, like whatever. God bless my mom. One day I hope she gets sober and changes her ways, but I can't change nobody. So at this time, I didn't see Eddie for like 2 months because I'm just like trying to get, money to buy stuff, to buy food, to give my mom money to go buy drugs because she's mad and she's angry. I feel bad for her. So I'm like, drugs make her happy. So let me try to go get some money to give her some money so she can go buy beer or drugs. And I could see like my mom she was mean when she did not have drugs. And like we all want people we love to be happy, right? So, I'm trying to make money to just pay my phone bill. Well, I didn't even have a phone. I think I was trying to like pay my girlfriend's phone bill at the time. Like, I don't know this girl no more. The girl was my girlfriend at that time. And just trying to get money for food. I don't know. Everybody needs money, right? So anyways, so then I call my friend up. Or no, I go to Eddie's house. I'm like, let me cut your hair. He's like, where the heck have you been at? Eddie was not around. His mom's not a drug addict. His mom is a foster parent. She fosters kids. She adopted kids. So Eddie's mom is the total opposite of my mom. And that's why I loved being at Eddie's house and things like that, right? So I really never told Eddie like what I would do outside from hanging out with him. Oh, I'm still in diapers and I'm doing beer runs and Eddie knew my mom did drugs and stuff like that, but I never tried to get Eddie involved with stealing things. So when he asked me where I've been at, I'm like, oh, I've just been busy, dude, like trying to make money and help my mom and stuff, but I got some barber clippers, dude. He's like, where'd you get the barber clippers? I'm like, I just got them, right? And so I'm like, let me cut your hair. He's like, all right. So I start cutting his hair, you know what I mean? And with the new set of clippers, it was a whole different thing. I started liking it, right? So since Eddie's mom was the foster parent mom and adopted kids, she had a lot of boys, right? And I would be like, let me cut your hair, right? So I started cutting Eddie's brother's hairs, right? Just fading them up, like whatever, right? Didn't really think anything serious about it. Okay, I started watching YouTube videos, a lot of YouTube videos, right? And I started like thinking, man, I want to cut hair better, right? But I never thought of future in it. I was just like, I want to cut Eddie's hair better and I want to cut his brother's hair better, right? So then I started watching a lot of YouTube videos and I started seeing that people have like these fancy clippers. And then I like Googled where these clippers are at and they're at Sally's. So I was like, I'll go steal them.
So I went to Sally's, inside Sally's, and I thought, man, I'm going to get caught stealing here. I cannot steal here. I'm going to go to jail. I'm not trying to go to jail. I've never been to jail, okay? Never in my life. I've never been to jail ever. Still to this day, never been to jail, okay? So when I went into Sally's, I was like, no, this is not a good idea, okay? So I needed a job. I needed to get a job to pay for the clippers. Okay. Still not thinking anything into nothing. Still not thinking nothing. Right. At that time of my life, things were really dark and ugly, and cutting hair made me happy. I don't know. So I'm like, right. So my sister had a job, and my other sister had a job, and I try to ask them, mind you, I'm still 18, right? I never had a job in my life, right? So I try to say, hey, give me a job. And my other sister's like, no, you're tripping. You're just going to quit. You're going to make me look bad. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I went and asked my other sister, hey, can you get me hired at your job? And she's like, are you going to quit? And I said, yeah, I'm going to quit. I'm just going to save up some money to buy some clippers. And she's like, man, you're going to make me look bad. And I was like, come on, please give me a job right there where you work at. She's like, okay, only if you give me your first paycheck. And I was like, I'm so young and dumb at that time, right? So I was like, okay. She's like, all right, I'll get you the application later on today. So 2 days later, I'm hired. Okay, I got a job, right? I'm working. It was so gay, bro. It was like, but as I was working, all I was doing was watching YouTube videos how to cut hair. So my first check, I got it, and I had to work 24 hours, 3 days in a row. So it was a big check. So I gave all the money to my sister, but she was like, I don't want to leave you broke, and I didn't know you were going to work that many hours, so I'm not going to take all your money. But she pretty much took all my money, but whatever. I was like, I got a job. I'm trying to buy these clippers, whatever, right? So then my friend Eddie's like, hey, what's up with a job? I'm like, I can get you in. I can get you in. He's like, get me in before you quit. And I was like, okay. Eddie never had a job in his life, right? And what we were doing, you know how older people, they're like, I'm not trying to say this in a mean way or nothing, but they're like mentally disabled, and they're kind of like slow or whatever. Like, you need to help them brush their teeth. You need to help them get in the shower. You need to help them cook. You go on walks with them or whatever. That's what we did. That's what I was, right? And and that's why I watched a lot of YouTube, because the person that I took care of, his name was Thomas. He was really high functioning. He just needed help, like, reminder, like, hey, you need to take a shower. He would walk for a long time, so I would go walking with him, and like things like that, right? So I told the manager lady, hey, can you hire my cousin? I just called Eddie my cousin. And I was like, he's really good. Like, he's cool. I got him a job, okay? Fast. So now Eddie's working there, right? Eddie's like, cool. Eddie's all happy. So, okay. So I stayed there for about a month and a half. I bought all my clippers, and I bought a motor scooter, like a scooter that had a license plate that you have to wear a helmet. And like, it was a Yamaha. It was like a scooter, like the scooters that people ride around San Francisco, like an actual motor scooter, right? It was like $900. I didn't have a car. I didn't want a car because I didn't have a license, and I didn't want to get in trouble. So I was like, I can get a scooter because you only have to be 18 years old, right? So I bought a scooter. So now I have all brand new clippers and a scooter. I end up quitting the job, right? Oh yeah, and the girl that I was with at that time too, I got her a job there too, but she ended up cheating on me and having sex with somebody that worked there. She got pregnant. Eddie found out, and then Eddie told me, "Hey, your girlfriend's cheating on you with the guy at work and all this crap." So we broke up. I was all heartbroken, but I had a scooter and I and I had clippers, right? And I quit my job, and at that time my mom didn't tell me that we were going to lose the house that we were renting because she wasn't paying the rent because she was high on drugs and all this crap. So the girl I dated cheated on me, got pregnant with the black guy at work, and life is pretty much sucking. My mom's like, high on drugs, cussing at me, mad, saying mean things, saying things, and she's like, "Why the F did you quit your job?" Like all this crap. And I'm like, I didn't know I had to keep a job. Like, what the hell? I thought you were paying these bills and now we're getting kicked out. What are we going to do with all the stuff in the house? She's like cussing at me. Right. And, mind you, I'm still 18, don't know nothing in life. Right. So the girl that cheated on me, I didn't know anybody that had a truck. So I called the girl and I was like, "Hey, do you think you can borrow your dad's truck or something like that?" And so she helped. She's like, "Yeah, but he's only probably going to let me use it if I tell him I'm going to the store. So I could only like help you move for like an hour. And then I'm not going to tell him that I'm literally helping my friend move because he's going to be like really mad and think like I'm going to mess his truck up." So anyways, so she helped me and my mom. We didn't take all the stuff that were in the house, obviously. We didn't even have much stuff. Anyways, so we put everything in a storage. Okay. Whatever. Me and that girl, we went separate ways. God bless her, whatever. Okay. So now all the stuff is in a storage unit, and me and my mom are sleeping in the storage unit. And, my mom's getting high, drinking beer. I'm like all sad. I think life sucks, like all this stuff. Eddie was letting me and my mom take a shower at his house when his mom was at work, because he's like, "My mom's gonna like start asking me questions if she knows you and your mom's like taking showers here and like all this stuff, like, but I'm not tripping if you guys come take a shower here and stuff, but you just have to come when my mom and dad is at work because like they're gonna try and be like in your business and like do all this stuff." So and he's like, "Then she's gonna try and help you and like all this stuff, but it's up to you." And I was like, "Okay, whatever." So we'd just go to Eddie's house, take a shower here and there. But Eddie knew exactly what was happening, right? He was just like, "If you don't want me to tell my mom, I won't tell her. But if you want me to tell my mom, I will tell her and she'll help you." And I was just like, "It's cool, dude. Like, just, my mom's, obviously you can tell my mom that did drugs, right?" So I was like, "It's cool, dude. Like, I just want my mom to take a shower and stuff like that, like whatever." Anyways, so I was going to Eddie's house every day, just, all sad. Things were ugly, right? Living in a storage unit. And then one day my mom says, "Hey, we have 2 days and we're going to have to get out of here and we're going to have to leave all our stuff in here. So make sure you have everything you want to take because I don't have money to pay the storage unit." And I'm like, "Damn." So I said, "How much is a storage unit?" She said it was $72. So I said, "Okay." So I went on my scooter with my backpack and I went around different neighborhoods, asking people, "Hey, you want a haircut? You want a haircut? You want a haircut? I'll give you a haircut," right? And mind you, I didn't really know how to cut hair. This was all in like a period of 4 months, okay? From when I stole the clippers at the store and all this stuff, right? So I'm not really all that good. Right? But God works the way he works, okay? So I would tell the people, like, you give me whatever you want to give me, like $5, $10, $2, like whatever, right? So people would give me $5, $2. People would give me food. People would give me beer. I would give the beer to my mom. People would give me weed. I would sell the weed, right? So I'm just trying to hustle $72, okay? So I finally hustled $72 in those 2 days, and I paid the storage rent, right? This went on for about 2 months. I met this drug dealer guy, and he never let me cut his hair, but he had a lot of people at his house that he would say, cut their hair, I'll pay you. And he knew my situation. He knew that my mom would be on drugs and living in storage, because he asked me, like, hey, how come you just, like, drive around on your scooter asking people if they want haircuts? And I said, because my mom's does crystal meth, and I'm just trying to get $72 to pay the storage unit that we live in, because then we won't have nowhere to live and we'll lose all our stuff. So he knew that. I didn't have a cell phone, right? So he would tell me, like, oh, come back on Tuesday at 5 o'clock or something. I'll have like 4 heads for you. Don't trip. And I was like, okay, like he would tell me that. And then one day he bought me a phone from like Walmart or something that had like minutes or something. And he told me, oh, it's all good, girl. Don't even worry about it. He told me, hey, this is a phone, because sometimes I'll be having haircuts for you, but I ain't got no way to get a hold of you, and I know you need money. And I was like, okay, cool. And he explained to me like how the phone worked. So I just, cutting hair. Hey, can I cut your hair? Can I cut your hair? Just hustling money, hustling $72, trying to get $72. Okay. Then one day I'm at my breaking point, right? I go to Eddie's house. I'm like crying to him. I'm like, man, life sucks, right? And he knew my life. He knew, right? So I'm in his room crying, just crying. And he said, he was just there listening to me. And he said, Angel, it's okay. It's okay. And he said, if you want, just chill in my room. I'll leave you alone. Like, just, if you want me, just leave you alone, and you need somewhere to just cry or whatever, just, you can stay in my room. And, at that time, a couple of days before that, I had no money, and I gave it to some black lady that needed money for the bus for her kids. And I gave her my last like $8. And I felt bad for her because she had kids, and it just reminded me of my childhood. So I just gave the lady the $8. And I thought, God said, if I give money, that he will double it. But that came to me at that time when the lady asked me for money, and I was like, damn, I only got $8. And the lady has like these kids, and she needs to get on a bus. And like, so I was like, all right, I'll give her the $8, like whatever, right? I was like, oh, God bless you, whatever. So the next day I'm at Eddie's house crying all this crap. Eddie lets me stay in his room, and then I get a text message on that phone. Thank you so much for the $10. I get a text message on that flip phone, and I read it, and it says, I have that barber job for you. And I'm like, what? And I know it's the drug dealer guy, right? So I call him, and I'm like, hey, bro, I just got your text message. What's up? He goes, hey, I got a barber job for you on 10th and Taylor. I go, I don't have my license, bro. He goes, I know. It's all good. Don't trip. I told him what's up about you. His barber just quit on him. And I told him that you'll be there. He said, get over there as fast as you can. Right? So I'm like, all right, mind you, I'm like 6 months in cutting hair, okay? Cutting people's hair on the streets like nothing, right? And my friend, the drug dealer, he says, I lied to him. I told him you've been cutting hair for about a year. And I go, okay. So I come out of Eddie's room and I smack the remote out of his hand. And I like say something and he's like, what? Weren't you just crying? I go, I gotta go, right? So I go to the storage unit because I didn't have my backpack with the clippers. So my mom's in the storage unit and I tell my mom, I'm like, hey, where's 10th and Taylor? Because the freaking phone, it was a flip phone. It didn't have GPS, right? So she goes, oh, you know, bus 62, like you just follow bus 62 or it was 67. I don't know. You just follow bus 62, whatever, and it'll take you right there at 10th and Taylor. Just like go the route bus 62 goes. And I told her, I was like, I got a barber job. I need to go. And I'm like getting my stuff. And she's like, yeah, just follow bus 62. So I'm like, I'm not following bus 62. I already knew bus 62's route. Okay. So I'm going, I finally make it right to 10th and Taylor. I don't even know what I'm thinking. I'm just like, I'm not thinking anything really. All I know is I need some money. Life sucks. I'm tired of just making $72. I'm tired of just like, I don't know. Right. I needed stability. I needed structure. I needed something. Right. And in that time of all of the chaos, I tell you, when I would cut hair, when someone would say, cut my hair. And even if they pay me money, they didn't pay me money. They gave me food. They gave me $1. They gave me $5. In that time, when I would cut hair, I would just forget about all the crappy stuff that was happening in my life in that moment. And I fell in love with cutting hair. Okay. And my personal opinion, I feel like God put cutting hair in my life for these reasons. Okay. So I get to the barbershop and the dude's like, are you Angel? I'm like, yeah. He's a little Asian dude, hardcore accent. He's like, oh yeah, set up. I mean, like, there's a lot of people up inside there, right? He's like, loud music, loud techno music, all this stuff. I'm like, what the heck, right? And he goes, oh, you've been cut hair for a long time, 1 year? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no, but whatever, like, right? And he's like, you ready? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. And he goes, brother, go sit down. She's professional. I'm in my head. I'm like, I'm nowhere near a professional, right? But so I thought real low of myself. I was never in a barbershop. I was never around other people cutting hair. I didn't have anything to compare it to, right? So I started cutting hair. I cut real good, okay? So then where I'm cleaning up, it was on a Saturday night. It was on a Saturday, right? And the next day he wasn't open. He was going to open back up on Wednesday, right? So I'm cleaning up, putting my stuff. I made like $200. No, I think I made like $300 that day in that setting. And as I'm packing my stuff up, I say, did you just need me for today or do you want me to come back? Like, what's up? And he goes, you cut hair really good. Come back on Wednesday. And I'm like, cool. So then I go to the storage unit and I give my mom pretty much all the money and I kept like $60. And I worked at that barbershop for 1 year and 7 days. And I asked the guy for a raise and he was kind of rude about it. He's like, oh, if you want more money, cut hair faster or something, right? So it just came off real disrespectful. So then I was like, hey, okay, I'm leaving, right? So I packed my stuff up that same night, that same day. And he's like, where are you going to go? You can't even cut hair nowhere. Like, you don't even have a barber's license and all this other stuff. And I just thought in my head, like, dude, you don't even know me. You don't even know my struggle. Like, You know what I mean? So in my head, I'm like, it don't matter, right? Well, in that time, that's when I started finding God, right? God, my friend gave me this book and stuff, and I started reading it. It talked a lot about God. And in that time, I found God, and I started getting into God a lot. And then I left from there, and I just started becoming a mobile barber. I would just go to people's house, cut their hair, right? And then one day I'm like, I want to make more money. And I was like, what do I really want to do? And I thought, because I read in the Bible, like God gives us what our heart desires. And I'm like, what does my heart really desire? And I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to cut 49er. I want to cut 49er people hair, 49er NFL people hair. And I want to become a successful barber in that area. God did that for me within 1 month. And then I just started cutting a lot of hair, and I became really successful at cutting hair. And then once God blessed me with all that I wanted from cutting hair, that's in that process of me cutting hair, that's where I realized that I would speak to people when I would cut their hair, and I would motivate them, encourage them. I'd talk to them about God and these things, and they would say, dude, you helped me change my life, and like all this stuff. And I would tell people like, hey, don't give up. Like, life seems real bad, but like God has a plan for you, like telling them, because they don't really know my background, like how my life changed really fast and stuff like that. And so I try to move forward with the calling, but I had to let go of the gifting to emerge in the calling, to emerge in the calling, right? So then I would tell my customers like, hey dude, I'm not gonna be cutting hair, like pretty soon I'm gonna quit. Like I'm not gonna cut hair pretty soon. They're like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm not gonna cut hair no more, right? So I told them that for like 2 weeks or whatever, and then I changed my phone number so nobody can contact me. And then that's when I took off in my car and I traveled in my truck. But so yeah, I was a barber for like 10 years. And I believe that God gave me the gift of cutting hair. I do not cut hair no more, at all whatsoever. But, when you literally have no clue with what's going on in your life, God will help you. Because even though, like, I didn't know God and I was stealing, doing all kinds of stuff, right? Getting drunk, all kinds of crap. I believe from my experience with God, like God says, He judges for our heart. Okay? I have a lot of heart for people. Like I love helping people. I love encouraging people. And I understand most of the part, I understand where they're coming from, and I believe God blessed me because of who I am inside. Obviously I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't smoke weed. I smoked weed for a little bit, but I drank a lot. I wasn't an alcoholic, but we just have fun with our buddies, right? I never got into drugs. Never, ever, ever. I just saw what drugs did to my brother. I saw what drugs did to my mom. I saw what drugs did to my dad, and, the drug addicts on the street walking around. God bless them. But I just saw that, and like I just knew, like I just saw my mom doing a lot of drugs, and I saw the person that made her, and I just didn't want that. So I just never like did that stuff. But God still blessed me and still helped me even when I didn't even know who he was. Um, even when I wasn't doing right? And no one does right. We always doing something, right? That is sinning. Um, but like God says in the Bible, He judges the people not for our appearance, but for our heart. And He asks us to love Him with all our heart, mind, strength, right? And then He asks us to love His children. He asks us to love one another. And in the Bible, He says that that is the way to heaven. Now, what about all the other stuff? All the other stuff is all the other stuff. Okay? But I truly believe God knows we're not perfect. Okay? And He knows there's some things about us we're never going to change. And He's still going to accept us and He's still going to love us. So, whatever you are right now or whatever you're doing, God still loves you and He's still going to help you, dude. Okay? So, a lot of people, they think like, oh, I've done so much bad. God's not going to help me. Or, oh my God, I'm doing so much bad right now. God's not going to help me and all this stuff. Yeah, He is, because He knows your heart. He knows your heart. Okay? So you just hang in there and you keep on going. Because even though I didn't know what God was going to do with cutting hair with me, I had no clue at all. Okay? Even though I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, deep inside, I knew what I wanted for myself. I knew that I want the life I wanted for myself. How I was going to get there, I had no clue. And I never tried to figure that out until I got older. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Right? But then I turned to God and God's done it all for me. I've just been obedient. Right? But ever since I was a little kid, like, I come from a really messed up childhood. My mom's been on drugs all her life. My mom, my dad, my other sister, my grandmother. They're all into like hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft. And I got a lot of curses and things put on my life that made me feel real dark areas in my life. Like when you're raised around that, it's just a lot of darkness, a lot of darkness in your life at that time. So, as a kid growing up, I was homeless. We were homeless, living in the bushes, sleeping on the ground. And we were homeless for a long time, for like 4 years maybe. And I was like, from like 5 years old or 4 years old, all the way to like 8 or 9 years old, sleeping in the bushes. And then we went to foster care. But in that time of being homeless, my mom had no money, right? So my mom wanted money to get drugs. So my mom, you know, used us in sexual ways to get money, right? My mom used us in a lot of different ways. And as a kid, and then on top of that, my mom would physically abuse us, verbally abuse us, and then use us. So in that time, as a child, I thought I didn't even know what the purpose of a child's life was, right? I didn't. Life was so dark for me. But God, dude, God has totally changed my life. God helped me. And I'm getting emotional because I remember all that darkness, but I get emotional because what God has given me. Okay? God has helped me forgive my mom, helped me understand, right? Help me accept. Okay? God has allowed me and helped me to let go. Okay? I used to always wonder why, how could a parent do this, and like all of this crap, dude. And the way I functioned was just, I was so tormented throughout my life, like mentally in my mind, right? So tormented mentally in my mind. I hated myself. Oh, I hated myself. When I became a barber and I accomplished things and I rode my bicycle really far, that's a whole another story, right? But when I accomplished these goals, I could never feel proud of myself. God has allowed me to feel proud of myself, because when you remove all of that ugliness, that's when you make room for beauty, for nice, right? And it's a wonderful feeling to feel proud of yourself, because we always want somebody to be proud of us, right? But I can feel proud of myself. I'm not ashamed of my childhood. I used to be ashamed, didn't want to talk about it, embarrassed, thought no one would like me, I thought that if I would tell people what happened to me, they would think I was sick, like sick in the head. They probably would think like I'm probably some child molester or something, because, the things my mom made us do, you know, and some of it's pretty vulgar stuff, but I know that that's not me. That's not Angel. That was just Angel as a child that had no choice in her life but to do what was told for her to do, right? I was carrying that burden of, I was responsible for what happened to me as a child. God allowed me to understand that I am not responsible for what happened to me. You know what I mean? So, life is amazing with God. Okay. So, no matter what you're still dealing with, no matter what you're still going through, God is still with you. God understands your struggle. Okay. God understands what's going on in your life and all of these things. So do not ever think that God is going to say, no, I don't want you because you sin too much. Or no, I don't want you because you're gay, right? Or no, I don't want you because, you're a drug addict. God accepts you exactly the way you are. Exactly. You just go to him and he's going to fix everything for you, but sometimes he doesn't do it right away, you know. Sometimes he teaches you a lot of stuff first and shows you and grows you, stretches you, and because there was a time in my life where I did get all with God and got baptized, and then you know, um, and then I got lost. I got lost in the sauce or whatever people be saying, but I didn't know at that time how much witchcraft was put on my life. I didn't know how many my sister was doing, witchcraft on me and stuff. And so when I got closer to God, she saw that. She did her little hoodoo, voodoo, magic stuff. And I was living with her at the time, and she would do hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft stuff over me. My mom cursed me, so I got lost. I found God, got baptized, and then then all this crap happened to me. Then I got lost, right? Got lost for like 6 years into like, who's God? What's God? Like, oh, all this crap. But then I knew that there was a God. But when you're around people that are doing witchcraft around you, they be putting all kinds of crap on you, right? And they just want to mess your life up, right? Your mental state of mind, because they use you. So my life started changing when my sister was doing a lot of witchcraft on me when I was living at her house. She told me, "Oh, live here, I'll help you," blah, blah. But she was just trying to do her little voodoo on me and all this crap, right? So when I started living with her, oh my God, my mental state of mind just went downhill, dude. I wanted to kill myself. Life sucked bad, right? So one day I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself, dude. This sucks, right? So I finally, I'm just like talking to myself. I don't remember where I was at. I think I was in my truck or something. So at this point, like, life sucks, all this crap, like my childhood, my sister's doing this witchcraft stuff on me, my mental state of all this crap, right? I'm just all crappy, right? Keep that witchcraft stuff, but God's way more powerful, okay? So I'm like, I think I'm in my car and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna kill myself. Screw this. Like, this is crappy, right? And I'm like 28 at this time. And so I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. And I literally made that decision mentally in my mind, right? Like, God knew that I literally I was going to do it. Like, God knew Angel's fixing to do this, right? And right when that choice was made in my mind, in my heart, I'm gonna kill myself. Screw this, right? At the time, I didn't know it was God talking to me. I thought it was myself talking to myself, but it was God talking to me. God said, "Why are you gonna kill yourself? You never even gave life a shot. You never even gave life a chance." And I talk back to the voice, right? I'm like, basically, I'm talking to myself. I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking in the moment, right? And I'm like, can y'all hear me? That light's not blinking. Okay. I didn't know what's going on. Sometimes this thing shuts off. So what the voice tells, God tells me, right? But at the time, I'm thinking it's myself talking to me, right? I'm not drunk. I'm not nothing. I'm regular. I'm just like deep, dark mental state of mind. Okay. So I'm like, what do you mean I never gave life a shot? And the voice tells me, you never even gave life like a fair share, like a good shot. You never even really, really ever applied yourself to the fullest. How do you know this is life if you never even gave life your all, right? And, God knows how to talk to us, right? And I'm like, that makes sense. I never did, right? So I'm like, okay, fine. Fine, I won't kill myself because that makes sense, right? So then I say to the voice, to myself pretty much, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to give life my all for the next 6 months. I promise myself that I will try to give life my all. And if nothing happens, then this is all a joke and I ain't worth nothing and I'm going to kill myself. But I promise myself I'll give 6 months consistently and try life. Okay. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? Right. And at that time, like God, like at the time, God put in my heart like social media, right? I didn't even have no following on social media. I had no following on social media, right? I was just like a regular person with a little bit of followers, tiny bit of followers, just like whatever, right? So I'm thinking, what am I gonna do? So I'm like, I don't want to stay at my sister's house no more. Like, I just wanted to get the heck away, right? So I met this guy at work. I quit barbering and I was doing a job, like all this crap, right? And so the guy tells me at work, oh, yeah, I go camping, right? So I thought I'll go camping where that guy goes camping at, what he was telling me, right? It was all the way in Arizona. So I go to work the next day just to tell that guy, hey, I'm leaving. What's the address to that camping place? So he gives me the address and I quit the job right there and then. I only went to work to tell the dude that, hey, what's the address? I'm bouncing. So he was like, oh, that's gnarly. That's cool. He's like some old hippie guy, right? He's like, oh, girl, I got to save up money for the next 3 months. Maybe I'll see you out there, like, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, whatever. So I'm like, peace out, dude. Thank you. So I go to my sister's house and my sister's under the assumption that I'm fixing to live with her like forever or something, right? And so I randomly tell her, like, hey, I'm leaving. And she's like, what do you mean? Blah, 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 all of this crap, like trying to, tell me not to do it and all this crap. I ended up leaving. I left, took off to Arizona. Okay. Um, God allowed me, He helped me get away from all of that. Because God knew that my sister was doing like witchcraft over me and all of this crap, right? So God took me out of there how He had to take me out of there because I was blinded to all of this, right? So that's where my life started changing, when God took me away from that crap. And I traveled in my truck for 28 days, traveling, camping, sleeping in my truck, cooking food, all kinds of stuff, right? Less than 28 days. Mind you, I only had $800, and then my car got messed up and stuck in a ditch the first night, and I had to pay like, I don't know how much money. And then the second day of out there in Arizona, I only had like $160, and like I wanted to go back, but something inside me was like, don't go back. Like you still have $100 or something, right? And the next day I went like TikTok live or something and people started donating me money. And so that helped me stay. But God allowed people to help me so I wouldn't go back to all the evilness that they were doing over me that I did not know, right? Or else I would have went back, right? But God provided that way. And let me tell you something, I was completely lost. I was not praying to God. I was like making fun of God. I thought God was a joke, but God was still helping me. Do you see what I mean? So within 28 days, I got almost 1 million followers on TikTok. I had like, it was insane. Okay. So I started realizing that I was because women would message me, email me, and tell me, you inspire me, like you motivate me, like you're very inspirational, like all of these things. And I started realizing, right, that, oh my gosh, I here I am encouraging people in a whole different way, right? So um I traveled in my truck for 28 days, and then I believe that God put it on me, the idea of, why don't you ride your bicycle through the United States, right? And when I was little in foster care, a foster care mother, like found a bicycle in the dumpster or something and gave it to me. And man, when I would ride that bicycle, I was so happy, right? As a kid, that was like my outlet, going through all of that crap, right? So when God gave me the idea, ride your bicycle, I instantly was like, yeah, because of that feeling that little angel had. And then I just started riding my bicycle, and God, that's where God, like, at that time, I thought Angel was weak. I did not know who Angel was at all, right? At that time, that's where God showed me who Angel is, who, what I can do. Um, he showed me who I was by riding my bicycle. I had no idea who I was at all, like at all, no clue. I discovered myself. That's where he allowed me to discover myself a lot. Um, so yeah, I'm not trying to tell you guys my whole testimony, but you know, if you're a person, maybe right now you're second guessing God, or maybe you think God's a joke and you're just probably following me because you like my content and you're just listening to me, but you're not really with the God stuff or Jesus, right? Jesus is real, bro, and he will help you even if you think he's a joke, okay? Because you are still his child. Jesus will still help you no matter what you've done, okay? He will still help you. And you stay alert, because there's a lot of people out here, like how it says in the Bible, um, out here doing wicked, evil stuff, right? And people are just exactly what it says in the Bible: evildoers, sacrificing, witchcraft, all of this crap, okay? So, whatever you're going through right now, God makes a way out of it. It took me what it took God started having glory in my life, like glory in my life, like 6 months ago. But it was, it I've been following God for like 4 years already, but to actually see things happen for me, for like God, like blessing me. God has always blessed me, but like to actually see, like, oh my gosh, I have an apartment. I'm actually a social media content creator. I actually inspire people. I motivate them. I tell them about God. And even if they're not with God or Jesus, I'm still here motivating them to just become better, right? Because I remember when I didn't believe in God, but I know that, hey, even if you don't believe in God, I'm not someone that's going to shove Jesus down your throat. If you tell me I don't believe in Jesus, okay, cool. It's fine. But I'm still going to tell you, no matter what you're going through, it's going to change. Okay? Because God is going to get into your life however he needs to get into your life. I cannot shove God into you, okay? And I understand that. Some people are like, Jesus, 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 you sin and evil and all this crap. That's not me, okay? I'm here to tell you, hey, bro, don't trip. It's all good. Take it easy. Things will change. Things do get better. Trust, okay? So if you are with Jesus, continue your faith with Jesus, continue walking with him. If you're not with Jesus, or you're like, you don't really know about Jesus, hey, it's all good. Just talk to him. Just talk to him. Okay? Jesus doesn't force anything upon us. Okay? So I'm not here to force anything upon you. Okay? But if you're like 50-50 about Jesus, or you think this about Jesus, listen, just talk to him. That's it. You know what I mean? Just talk to him. Okay? I'm not here to try to say that he's the greatest sacrifice and he died on the cross. That's just going to push you more away. You're like, what? Right? That's not that. I don't be doing that, because I understand how I felt when people would tell me that, right? So when I see other people telling people that, and then I come across people that are like, no, I don't, everybody that's come to me about Jesus, they're just so hardcore about it, and they're just like punching me in the face with God and Jesus, and I need to repent and all of this stuff, right? All of that, yeah, okay. But that's not my style on approaching somebody that thinks Jesus is a joke. They don't know, right? They're so in their life, they're like, I don't know if there's a God, there's not a God, or Jesus, no Jesus, or like, right? So I'm not about to go say all this stuff and then scare them away even more, right? God put in my heart to always remember the time where I did not know God. I did not know who God was. I didn't know who Jesus was. I thought Jesus was a joke. How can a guy die on the cross for me? That sounds ridiculous. Like, God has put it in my heart tremendously to always remember how he helped me. Because there is people out here right now turning away from God because all of this stuff that people say to them about God, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you're sinful, and blah, 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 and you've done wrong, and like, all of this stuff, right? And it turns them away. It turns them away from God, right? And that's what the enemy wants us to do, is have us Jesus believers turn other people away. I'm not here to turn nobody away. That's why when I ask somebody, hey, what do you believe in? Like, do you believe in religion? Do you believe in anything? Like, what is it? And, when they tell me where they're at, then that's where I kind of like, I'll talk to them where they're at, right? If they're like, oh, I don't know about Jesus, right? I'll tell them like, how I used to feel about Jesus, right? Or like, sometimes you can tell when somebody's like, nah, I'm not with Jesus. I don't want to hear that at all, right? So I'm not trying to push them away, because I know they need to hear something, right? So I'll tell them like, hey, I believe in Jesus and everything, but hey, I'm not here to preach about Jesus. Okay, don't think because there's sometimes where people like, I'll say, oh, I love Jesus, dude. Jesus saved my life. And they're like, what? Yeah, no, I'm not interested. Sorry, peace out, right? So I could totally tell, right? So I'll just, hey, look, I love Jesus, bro, but I'm not about to preach about Jesus to you. Don't worry. And they'll start laughing. And then their face expression changes. They're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I thought you were like gonna, And I go, no, bro. And I'll just start talking to them about just like positive stuff, and then just things like that, right? Because I know that God is going to take take care of the rest. I'm not here to save nobody. I can't save nobody. Okay, God takes care of the rest. I'm just the middleman, pretty much. Not even the middleman. I don't even know what I am, but I'm a servant to the Lord, helping him bring more people near him, okay? I'm just a person kind of just giving them another push to God, and then God's going to put another person to them and push them more, and then God's going to put another person in front of that person's life and push them more closer and push them more closer. I'm just a little push. That's all it is, okay? But I always like to tell people first, hey, dude, like, I believe in Jesus Christ all the way, bro. That's my Lord and Savior. And then I'll tell them, like, but don't worry. I'm not about to get all weird on you about Jesus. Don't trip, right? So my job's not to push no one away, ever. Okay, my job is to give them a little push closer to God. Okay, that's all it is. All right, and so you always got to remember that, like, shoving Jesus down someone's throat isn't gonna make them believe more in Jesus. You're just pushing them away. That's why a lot of people are like, oh, they just say like all this stuff, and you're like, no, it's okay, anyways. So yeah. All right, you guys. They will definitely run away. Yeah, for sure. Okay, you guys, I have no idea what time it is. I was not. Oh, okay, cool. It's been an hour. Alrighty. What does that say? Thanks again for sharing. You guys are welcome. I will be going live again. The Holy Spirit will draw them. Yes. Someone said, when did you become born again? I've been baptized twice. One time when I was, I don't know, 24 or something. And then I got baptized again, rebaptized, like in March. So however long March was. Pastor Johnny loves your testimony. God bless Pastor Johnny and his ministry. Recently born again too. God bless you. Someone said, are you gay? Yeah. Some people, they ask me that. I am gay. I'm totally open and honest with that. And I still praise the Lord. And I like to tell people that, no one's perfect in this life, and God's still going to accept you the way you are. Okay. There's plenty of people out here in this world that think, oh, Jesus don't want you, or you're sin, you're gay, you're lesbian, you're a gay dude, or like I don't know, all this gay stuff, right? But God's still blessing me. God knows my heart. And if you are a gay person, right, don't let the devil tell you God don't want you because you're gay. Okay, don't, because I thought that for a long time. So don't think that. Okay, just like whatever you're going through right now, don't think God don't want you. He still wants you. He will still help you. Okay? He will still help you. All right? Trust. Okay? So, you need to save them all. Yes. You need to save them all. Okay? I believe that God wants everybody, bro. God wants everybody. Okay. He just wants more people saved, right? Because there is a lot of wickedness out here, okay? And God just wants to help us, right? So thank you everybody for all your gifts as I was speaking. Thank you everybody for the other gifts. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being respectful and nice. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And thank you for being respectful, really, because there's some people up on here that are just, I don't know, God bless them. But I'll go live. What's today? Sunday? Let's see. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Out Tuesday. What's Tuesday? Tuesday is Tuesday. Okay, I'll go live Tuesday because tomorrow I need to do stuff. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Arizona time, okay? Tuesday, 7 p.m. Arizona time. If you guys want to come back on here, okie dokie. So, thank you for telling us your testimony. That was only some of my testimony. But yeah, life is life. And life is beautiful. Okay, life is beautiful no matter all the ugliness, darkness, stuff in it. Life is still beautiful. If God asked me, Angel, would you change anything about your life? No, I would not change nothing. God said, Angel, you don't want to go back and change, your life as a little girl? No, I wouldn't, because I know what I'm here for. I know that there's other people in this world that needs help, that need inspiration, they need encouragement, okay? And with the life that God gave me, He allowed me to go through all of that. But because I went through all of that, it gave me so much understanding and so much compassion and so much like, I know there's people out there, how they're feeling, and I want to help them, right? And if I didn't have that as a childhood experience, I wouldn't have that. I wouldn't be the person to help other people, right? So yeah, I wouldn't change anything, right? Some people say, oh, terrible things happen and all this stuff, and hey, it's okay. All right, you guys, keep helping others. God bless you guys. God bless everybody up in her. To my monitor, are you gonna be here on Tuesday? Awesome. What does God say about hearing voices? I don't know. God bless you. Thank you for everything you do. God bless you too, Samantha Wood. All right, you guys. God bless you. Try to stay positive. Always try to stay positive, okay? Always. Where do I listen to your testimony? I don't know. Pretty soon I'm going to be telling my testimony down at the church, and it will be recorded, and it'll be the whole testimony. Pretty soon, a couple weeks. So you just got to wait, buddy. God bless you. Thank you for your words of encouragement. All right, you guys. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful Sunday. I hope you guys go to bed early. I gotta edit this video that is gonna be so funny. So funny, I think. So see you Tuesday. Awesome. All right, you guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Stay positive. It's important to stay positive no matter what the heck is going on in your life. Hi, are you from the Bay? Yes, from San Jose, East Side San Jose. Good night. Peace out. Good night, my monitor, Mary.